Do you want to create an accurate project budget? In this video, you are going to learn the step-by-step process how to do it. Let's dive in. Hello, I'm Dmitry Nizhebetsky from Project Management Basics, and I help people just like you to become a PM from any role you are currently at. So if you want to become a project manager, you are in the right place. Subscribe to this channel now and hit that little bell button as well. When you think about project budget, what comes to your mind? You need accurate estimates. You need some ninja technique that will magically do the work. You are focusing on the wrong side of the problem. To create an accurate project budget, you need to identify 100% of project work. That's your ultimate goal. So ideally you start with a project chart. Based on the information in the chart, you develop project requirements. You identify only the requirements that support reaching project objectives. Then you need to write a project scope statement. You need to get approval on what you need to produce at the end of the project. By the way, I have a separate video on the project scope statement. Do watch it after this one, I'll leave you a link in the description. You do all this prior work to ensure that you don't waste lots of efforts on the next step. And the next step, you need to create a work breakdown structure. It takes a lot of efforts for the whole project team and subject matter experts that you can reach. In the process, you decompose the deliverables from the project scope statement into smaller pieces. You need to describe all the parts you need to create to produce the final product, service or result. And then you break them down even further into activities and actual tasks. Without all these efforts to identify the work that needs to be done, you can't produce an accurate project budget. For sure, you can guess and make the high-level estimation that has bulletproof buffers. Also, you can try to compare your project with similar projects done in your company. But if you want accurate numbers, you need to do the bottom-up estimate. You estimate activities and tasks, then you sum up on the work package level, deliverables level, and up to the final product or service. But there is a catch. Even if you do everything I described just now, you will get over budget in the long run. Can you guess why? Because you need to include risk management expenses. Okay, if you guessed correctly, write me a yes in the comments below. So, risk management is not free of charge. In all its aspects, it takes time and money to implement. Moreover, it should be a transparent part of your project. All your risk management activities should transform into specific tasks related to a deliverable. Or it should be risk resource assigned to a task, work package or a deliverable again. And the last step before you can proceed to calculating actual costs. You need to identify what kind of resources and experts you need to perform all these tasks. Do you need a senior Android software engineer or a junior level will handle it? Do you need a carpenter to finish the work package? And so on. So now you can take all the tasks at the lowest level of decomposition and put them into a spreadsheet for estimation. But if you have an integrated project management application, do keep all the project information in one place. So the spreadsheet may look like this. You do need to adjust it to the realities of your company and industry. The main column lists all the activities and risk reserves. I recommend you to keep the work breakdown structure organization. This way you will quickly sum up all the costs to the higher level. Next, you have labor columns with efforts required to finish the task and rates. After that, you can put materials, one column for the amount and one for the cost per unit. Again, you need to put some thought into these columns to group the most common expenses here. Your spreadsheet may contain entities for traveling, rent of space or equipment, or other uncategorized expenses. Now, how do you come up with all these numbers to fill in? First of all, people that will perform the work should participate in the process. They should provide their estimates on the duration, efforts, and materials required and any other additional costs. If you don't have a project team yet, you need to find subject matter experts who have expertise of similar projects. And if your company doesn't have such experts, I will recommend you to postpone development of the project scope and project budget until you acquire these resources. You should communicate it to your clients. As for the rates, your company should have a list of possible prices for labor you use in-house on a regular basis. Or there's a list of vendors with their price lists. So the first step is always to ask your leadership. Otherwise, you need to research the market to find out average rates for the required roles. Also, you may need to look into the freelancers market to assess possible range of rates. Keep in mind that rates that you use here will directly impact the hiring process. If you put it below the market average, it may take more time to fill in the required position. The same problem applies to the costs of materials and other expenses. You estimate them today, but you may actually acquire them in 6 or 10 months from now, so you should be ready for the price fluctuations. It might be a significant hit if you need large amounts of materials. Also, there are variable costs like electricity and phone bills, file storage space on a server, and so on. The idea is simple, you need to budget enough money to cover the costs. Okay, what else can you do to improve the accuracy of your budget? The answer is historical information. Keep in mind that even if your company doesn't have a formal archive, other project managers have tons of information on their computers and in their heads. So don't miss an opportunity and ask if they did similar projects. You may identify additional expenses that you overlooked. These project managers may provide you lessons learned, share their experience and tips. Like, for example, the materials need storage. They should be delivered on time to the site. Machinery and tools may break. They need some storage space as well. Software applications require licenses. Commercial use with big teams may be much more expensive than a single license. Remember, every project has a unique set of additional expenses. There is one more secret ingredient in the accurate project budget. It is called management reserves. It's the reserve of money for unexpected risks and events. Usually it's 5, 10 or 15% from the project budget, but keep in mind that you don't have direct access to these reserves. You should get approval from clients or steering committee to use them. So together all of these comprises your project budget. Okay, now here's a harsh truth from the real world. Sometimes clients and your leadership will ask you to provide a project budget when you don't have a project team. Likewise, they may not give you enough time to do all the preparations with due diligence. You just need to provide them a number. So if you are not able to convince stakeholders to do it in the right way, you need to safeguard yourself and the project team. Do provide high-level and rough estimates. It means your budget should be on the higher end of the worst-case scenario, especially for deliverables that you have little certainty about. Yes, sometimes it means that you need to double or triple estimates, but to be on the ethical and professional side, your communications about the accuracy of these estimates should be transparent. You should provide an option to specify the estimates later and give an accurate budget. If you like this video and you want to become a project manager, subscribe to this channel right now and hit that bell button. Also, do check the description below. There is a cheat sheet on how to become a project manager and resources on this topic. But before we go, tell me one thing. What's the biggest challenge for you? Is it identifying project scope or finding accurate rates and prices? Leave me a comment below. Thank you in advance.